Happy new moon. Happy new moon. Those of you coming in love and light, happy new moon in Aquarius. Come on in, come on in, come on in. So hang in there. I know you guys are hearing the rain coming down super duper hard here. That's what you're hearing, that shh. Okay. But happy new moon. Those of you who are coming in live here on TikTok Live. New moon in Aquarius, And so, oh my God, I was sitting here all crying and everything. Oh my gosh. Like releasing, right? And I was watching this show that I just stumbled onto. Actually, it's a movie, I'm sorry. And it's called Mac and Rita. Okay, you can find it on Hulu. Okay, Mac and Rita. Diane Keaton is one of the leading ladies. And I don't want to get into the whole movie because I'm still watching it. It's almost towards the end here, but it's about a young girl that had an old soul. And she just, like, she really wanted to just be able to lean into the comforts of when you get older, you know, you're not panting the same way when you were young. So she ended up doing this past life regression at this special place, and she came out of it in her older body. And she was flipping out at first, and then she kind of just made it her own. She owned it, okay? And she was the social media influencer, and she was able to be her authentic self. And this is when she starts to explode in her older self, right? And I felt like it was about authenticity, and it's about, you know, those of us that, you know, we're not we're not chasing the same things we once were, even if we are younger, right? We're not into all of that. And what ended up happening, this young guy that you're looking at, he's kind of strange, okay, himself. And he knew her in her young body, so he thinks that this is like her aunt. Because how do you make sense of it? It's like an existential, you know, crisis. Like, how do you explain, this is my older body? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And so he thinks it's the younger girl's aunt, okay? Now, he actually is digging this, her older self, because she's comfortable, okay? And he too is not into all of the same things as typical younger generation. So I wanted to share this to maybe, you know, get some of you out there who's doing some intentions tonight or today. And this is about authenticity. Authenticity is the new black, okay? And when I say authenticity, I'm not talking about, you know, how, I'm not talking about that we don't all wear avatars and shit like that. I'm saying like being our true selves and being comfortable in our own skin, in our own uniqueness, and whatever that is, okay, for us. And so I'm going to share just a tad bit of a clip here. And, you know, I was all crying before I came on because I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's it. Like, I'm feeling this. Maybe it's the moon energy, okay, this is the new moon. But I was like, I'm so into this. Okay.
Listen, I know that my life doesn't look like what you think of 40.
He's 40. Okay.
And only.
So now she's challenging him. She had a bad day because she had a bad day.
Because I like you.
What's the matter with you anyway? Huh?
I mean, you want like a full list?
No, I'm really serious. You spent the past month hanging out with an old lady, like she's your girlfriend or something. Were you trying to avoid Jack?
Nothing. Listen, I know that my life doesn't look like what you think a 4-year-old's life should look like, but I love it. And I have done enough therapy to know that I like myself. And when I met you, I saw someone who's
Oh, come on, man.
comfortable being exactly who they are. And I know that, you know, you're not going to be here forever. You've got your own life to go back to.
So what I really wanted to share, let me pause it here.
I've lost sight of who I really am. Do you understand what I mean? I mean, I can't really stay here. I just can't stay here, Jack. I can't do
Because
that.
she's actually younger, okay? That's just her older body. She's going through like an existential crisis, right? But if you guys are paying attention to what he said, you know, he's in his 40s. But he mentioned, he was like, listen, I know my life don't look like the typical 40 or whatever. He was like, but I know who I am. I've went through enough therapies and so forth, and I like my life. I like who I am. He's like digging her. Like he's like attracted to her. They ended up like kissing and everything. And she was shocked because she's actually younger, but she's just in her older body. And what I digged about that in this movie, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Just being okay. Like the relationships that we're creating now is going to be based on how we are showing up in the world for ourselves. Her going through this existential crisis and ending up in her older body, it pushed her into showing up as her authentic self. She's an old soul. And so it just worked for her. She's upset because she had hurt her best friend's heart because she didn't show up at the engagement party because she had got stuck. And so she's really upset about all of that, on top of realizing that she will be back in her normal body soon, and she's going to have to like deal with all that as well. So she's going through like existential crisis here. But I hope it encourages you all to set your own intentions about your authenticity. This new moon is allowing us to bring in newer energies and aligning to who and what we really are. And it's going to be different for everybody, and I get that. But that's why I said authenticity is the new black. Mind you, I didn't say perfection. You didn't hear perfection come out of my mouth. I didn't say, like, what am I trying to say? I can't find my words. I was too busy sitting here crying, and I was like trying to clear up my throat and everything before I came on the camera here. You guys should watch this movie, Mac and Rita, okay? It's on Hulu. Diane Keaton, leading lady. And just to be able to be, like when she was in her young body, she was flipping out because she felt like she just didn't fucking fit. You know, her crew, her homegirls were young, and they're into the typical young shit. And she had to constantly go around pretending as if she was into it just so that she can fit in. But she was always feeling out of place and awkward. And she used to say, like she said on the movie, she was like, I just want to be able to rest and go sit down. Like she's got an old soul. She's like, I don't want to wear these heels. I don't want to be walking around like at the club. I want to go to the coffee shop. Like she was like flipping out. She's like, I want to be, when she was going through the regression process. And so she felt like she was an old soul trapped in a young girl's body. Star seeds and earth angels live their lives like that because they're always eons ahead. So they appear to have the weight of the world on them because they are old. Their souls are freaking old. They're not, they'll try to fit in just like this woman did in the movie. She tried. She went through the whole shebang bang, you know what I'm saying? But you can tell. You can sense it. And you can see it in her face. You can, like, she just wasn't into it. And her doing this past life regression and ending up coming out in her older body allowed her to discover herself and to become comfortable. Whereas when she was in her younger body, she felt compelled. She made a statement. She said, I want to be able to be me without being judged for being a hermit. She's not into like the flashy, the parties. That's her friends. And she's not judging them, but she feels like she don't want to be judged because she'd rather go sit down and get a book and drink a cup of coffee. And, the hermit. She's a hermit. That's her natural state. Now, as an influencer, because she's a social media influencer, so she ended up getting all these deals because as she stepped into her authenticity, the people didn't know that it was her. They thought that her older self was like one of her clients or something that she was using to do her shit. And stepping into that authenticity just put her on the map as an influencer. So it's kind of fascinating that her work life was very social. Okay, that's who she was as an influencer. But her private life, she preferred to do the simple things. And she felt like she was constantly being pushed. Do this, do that. You got to be stunting and fronting and flashing and, all this shit. Because that's the times, right? So she, in her younger body, felt like she was being pushed to like act like she liked all that and to be a part of all that so she can be happening and all of that shit, right? But when she went through that crisis and came out, she discovered that, you know what? No, you don't. Authenticity is the new black, and you'll end up manifesting like people. Because look at the irony. She steps into her authentic self. She meets the same young man that she knew as in her own normal body, and she was relaxing herself around him, and guess what? He digged it. It wasn't for him, about, ooh, she's a foxy chick, and ooh, she got the latest designer gear, and ooh, she got the best manufactured body that you can purchase. Ooh, she's, what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. He saw someone with confidence, someone with an actual freaking personality, someone who knew who they were, and someone that was comfortable with who they were. And that was attractive to this. In his case, he's young compared to her older body. He's in his 40s. Her older body is in her 70s. But she's actually the same age range as him in real life, right? So, anywho, I'm not going to stay long. I just wanted to share that little clip. Okay, I'll repeat it for some of you here. It was just like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Mark and Rita, you can find this on Hulu. Diane Keaton is the leading lady. Okay.
Why? Why are you being so nice to me? Why?
But that doesn't make you a bad person.
But today, I was worse, just as a bad friend.
It just sounds like you had a really bad day, but that doesn't make you a bad person.
He's kind of hot.
You are one of the best people that I've ever met.
Why? Why are you being so nice to me? Why?